about the Messi thing.
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done. I'm
falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But they got me back.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 191 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
You're not doing it with KBD. You're doing it Robert Taylor. The man of the match right here. This guy right here.
He definitely was the man of the match.
This guy.
Without a doubt.
This guy right here.
Yep.
And this guy, too. This guy right here on my shirt. Kampapi. Another goal, huh? Not the man of the match, but he did well. He did well.
I felt like that was more Robert Taylor than Campana, but 100% Campana has to get credit for that also. But Robert Taylor, man, yeah, that he had himself a game. But yeah, late night. It's what you see on the date there, May 25th/26th, because we started on Saturday, ended on Sunday. But an entertaining match. It felt like a track meet the first half. It was going back and forth. Definitely entertaining. What overall thoughts before we get into the specifics?
My overall thoughts is Ben Krem didn't do that well.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Other than that, I like Bright. I really like him. I think that
it's funny. Yes. Yes. That's what I wanted to bring up. Shout out to you, because Chris said, I really think that somebody that people aren't considering that maybe can play center back is Bright. I said, I didn't know. I felt like I hadn't seen enough out of him to say something like that. Today, he showed his defensive prowess. He was definitely playing that CDM role, like a true CDM. He wasn't pushing up, contributing much on offense. He was staying back, close to the back line, and that really helped a lot. So, yes, I could definitely see something like that. That was a good call on your part.
Thank you. And much appreciated. And everybody else is basically saying that the ref was trash.
Yep.
Right.
Baby
and
Erico.
Now,
shout out to Baby Eric.
Yeah. What's up, Baby Erico? Thank you for the super slam and peaches too. One thing, well, I mean, Dennis is already drilling me. Bright was not that good, Chris. I mean,
I thought defensively, I think he showed a lot. I think he did give the ball away at times. He did, he's still young. He's literally, isn't he a rookie? Like, he is literally a rookie. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be so harsh on him. I think overall he had a pretty good game.
My final thought, I guess, just a quick hit right here. It's tough, man, to watch these players and to really judge them without having to include our perspective on Jordi Alba, Messi, Busquets, and Suarez. Like, it's been hella hard to not infuse that into our judgment of these players.
I don't think that has anything to do with Yannick Bright's judgment today.
I mean, look, there's a lot of people that are saying that Bright wasn't that great, but then you have
I thought Bright
Florida
was
man with a dad joke.
Good. Oh, he was a bright spot. Yes. Like, I mean, but what would it take to say that he was good then? He had some crucial interceptions. He blocked a couple shots. There were some points where, look, Vancouver in that first half, they were getting inside the box. They were building up plays very well, and they were ending up in our final third. Plenty of times they got the ball in good positions inside the box. But defensively, we were getting our foot in a lot of those passes. And I think Bright had a lot to do with that. I know Aviles ended up having some boneheaded plays, obviously the penalty and all that. So I understand that's going to bring down his overall rating, right? I guess you could say. But I thought Thomas Aviles was having a great game also up until the point where he got that stupid penalty.
He was. And
there was a couple other plays where he was kind of boneheaded. Like, he really pushes that envelope a little bit too much with his physicality. But I thought Thomas Aviles was also solid back there. I thought that although that they were getting inside the box, they didn't have one shot on goal. And they were constantly getting in the box in the first half.
I think that, like you said, Aviles played a fairly good game up until you started being a badass and like trying to kill everybody, which he's such a hothead. But I guess that's the
But
love and hate that you
that's
have with the
that's
hothead.
that's the way he play. Like, he plays that way though. He does a lot of boneheaded fouls.
Now, I see some people mentioning Ruiz played bad. I really don't know what to do with that too much because, like, he came on late.
Yeah,
They threw him in the right wing.
He played like 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, like, I mean, you have Nuno Martinez saying Ruiz got cooked by Fafa 5 times in 10 minutes. Listen, in the
Everybody's
last
getting cooked by
15 minutes,
Fafa.
everybody was getting cooked by him. Like he said, this is Broward County I am representing here. So, and we told you guys to watch out for Fafa. Fafa, come on. So I thought it was a good game. I thought that the refs let a lot of things go in the first half, and then they got really, really strict in the second half.
I think that one thing, and I know we're gonna get into the starting lineup right now, but we played a 4-3-3. And I know that when we had our preview episode, I said I expect us to come out with 5 in the back. Because it felt like whenever we were undermanned up until this point, up until this game, it felt like Tata's like, let's go out with 5 in the back. That kind of felt like the strategy always when we're undermanned. And I see Vice Lucas is asking where is Tata's credit. Here's where it is. He didn't come out with 5 in the back. He stuck to his 4-3-3, right? And he didn't have the fullbacks pushing up very far. He didn't have Jordi Alba and Weigand consistently pushing up. They were holding their line pretty well. They had Bright back there holding down the defensive midfield. I thought that Tata did a great job because everybody kills them. And look, I was expecting to see the 5 in the back, but he didn't. Credit to him. And maybe nobody really thought about giving him that credit, but like he's been doing better as the years gone on. We're usually like, oh, where are the substitutions? Well, he's been doing really good substitutions recently, right? Nobody wanted to give him credit for the Campana substitution. They're like, oh yeah, but if that guy doesn't get a concussion, that substitution didn't happen. I don't care how he got there. Did he not make the substitution? Yes. I don't care how he got there. It happened, and it was his call. And some other people are like, oh, but it was the assistant coach. I don't care who it was. He gets the final call. He put him in. He scored the goal. A couple of games ago, Matias Rojas coming in at half. Game changer. Ended up scoring 6 goals that game. Like, he has been doing a good job. Much better with substitutions. Look at the formation today. We usually kill him for the formation with 5 in the back. Today would be, from everything we've seen up until this year, this would be the game that he puts 5 in the back, especially with the transition offense that this Vancouver team kind of takes advantage of everybody with. And I all in all, I think that Tata needs to get more credit for the last month, especially for today, because everybody with the whole, oh, if Messi doesn't play, they don't win, and that's why Tata sucks. Look, Messi, Suarez, and Busquets didn't play today, and they just beat a very good Vancouver squad that's one of the top teams in the West.
Mic drop, guys. I mean, I don't even want to add to that. I do want to say here, because Walter's asking a good question, well, a statement. Gressel was horrible again, and I kind of want to go over Gressel's play this game because I don't agree so much.
I think he had a better game than Rojas today.
Yes, I do think he had a better game than Rojas as well.
And that's not me saying that he's better than Rojas, right? Everybody knows the disdain I have for Gressel. But I think that he had a pretty decent game today. I think he played better than Rojas.
I think if there's any way we could sum this up, guys.
Shout out to Soccer Daddy, by the way. They live in, I don't know if they live in Vancouver, but I know they live in Canada. They were really disappointed that Messi wasn't going to go there because that's the only opportunity they're going to have to see Messi. They ended up going to the game anyway. So shout out to Soccer Daddy. That sucks if you didn't get to see Messi.
Good stuff. Well, I mean, look, and still they're adding proud team today, which is great. This is how I can encapsulate the whole game. Good team today.
Mm-hmm.
Good team. Speaking of good team, Danny, is there any other thoughts you want to add before we go ahead and bring up the starting lineup?
No, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure we'll get into everything as we go on.
All right, you got a couple images saved, so go ahead and bring up the starting lineup for me if you can, because I don't want to add on an image because I see you saved a couple here, and I want to go over the starting lineup, guys, like always, beginning of the game. So here we have a really unique looking lineup, not only aesthetically, but it's a little different than usual. We got Calendar in goal, we got Aviles, and we got Christoph, Wagon, and then Alba filling the back. And then the midfield, you have basically, what is it? Gressel, Bright, Kremaki, which is left midfield. And then you have the left wing playing Taylor. You got Alba. I'm sorry, not Alba. Campana playing the top. And then you got Rojas playing the right wing, aka the Messi role.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to say Messi role, but that's the position he was playing. So what did you think of this starting lineup, Danny?
Look, I was just happy that I didn't see 5 in the back, to be honest with you. Once I saw that we were probably coming out in a 4-3-3, I was happy because I think that's when we're at our best. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I was a little surprised at the Yannick Bright start. I thought that David Ruiz would start there. But and a good call by Tata because I thought Yannick Bright had a pretty good game. I know a lot of people were saying that he wasn't that good, but I don't know what you expect him to do. I mean, how many starts has he had this year? Is this his second start this year? Possibly his first. I'm trying to think if it was his first or second. Yannick Bright. Yeah.
No, I think it's his first start of the year because he started earlier this year.
Yeah,
he started earlier.
So that's what I thought. So maybe if not his first, second start, I mean, he's coming in against a good team, a good transition team where he has these guys, White and Gold or Gold, how do you pronounce his name? That are tearing it up. Like second, thank you, Vice City Lucas. His second start. And he was holding it down against these guys. And again, inside the box, first half, they were getting in there, but he had a hand in a lot, interrupting a lot of those plays when they had a lot of opportunities. Vancouver, they are not a good finishing team from what I'm seeing. The guest that we had on with us, Samuel, he told us that since that Red Bulls loss, which was like a month ago, that they haven't scored any goals in open play. They're all been set pieces or penalty kicks. And today, again, they haven't been able to score in open play. And it looks like they just aren't that – they just can't finish.
And one thing I want to mention here is Mike V mentioned something. I guess we'll bring it up on the preview with Tommy one time that this isn't the comment. But Mike V mentioned here that the Spanish commentary, you could hear Tata saying go 5 in the back early. And Alba said no and didn't do it. Campana scored shortly after.
Oh, shit. Oh,
there is something I wanted to bring up, which was Vice City Lucas said that the backup goalie for Atlanta is going to be playing because Guzman got a red card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Messi will score on Manuel Neuer. It doesn't matter.
Look at Sapo telling me I have no idea about football. You have no idea about football, Sapo. Vete y come Sapo.
All right. So the first half got started, and like we were texting back and forth. It looked like a track meet out there, man.
It did.
It looked like they both wanted to play the transition game. They both didn't want to get beat. It was fun. I felt like Miami would go ahead on transition, and then once that didn't succeed, boom, the ball would go over to Vancouver and bam, another on the towards the other side. I thought that first half was very entertaining. Very entertaining.
I actually thought that, and tell me if this isn't, and yes, Mr. Krabs, Sapo in Spanish is froggy. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to mention is whenever you don't have Luis Suarez or Messi, you have a lot more pressure up front with the striker and the winger. And then on top of that, they're willing to come back and play defense. You could tell that the pace is just so much back and forth, because it's not as controlled with Messi with the ball, right, Sapo? I don't know too much soccer, but I could tell Messi holds the ball pretty well, right? There's more control with those players. So, I mean, I think it plays in a way to our benefit, but then at the same time, like we can get countered on really quickly, right? Rohan is just dropping dimes here. 250 watching, only 25 likes. Guys, it's literally free 99. You scroll up, you press the thumb button, and it's free.
And for those of you that were wondering where Messi was, because maybe they saw his bodyguard was at the stadium. Jason L said that he had a chance to referee Messi's son and Suarez's son game today, and he saw Messi and Suarez chilling on the sideline. So they did stay local to watch their kids play in that youth tournament down here.
Yeah, I mean, it's look, I think super cool, Jason, that you were able to go ahead go ahead and ref that game. That must have been a good experience, huh? Like, I mean, tell me, Jason, you had some bias, right? Like, well, don't say it. Don't say it.
If you were coaching, this is a random thought I just had.
I mean, you're gonna
If
ask
you were
me.
if you were coaching, if you were coaching, I'm sorry, if you were reffing that game, would you purposely call a bad foul against either Messi or Suarez's kid in hopes that you'll get yelled at by Messi or Suarez?
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that. I mean, they'll call me a concha de tu madre and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Boludo!
Sure. Yeah, they'll call me. Yeah, I'm down for that. Hell yeah.
Just a random thought. I don't know. No, and no, Jason, I don't think you'd be biased. You're not a Chris. All right, Chris, go ahead.
No, I mean, like I was mentioning earlier, I think that the control is better, obviously, with Messi and Suarez. But you could tell that there's a lot more pace when they're off the field, off the pitch. So I think it works to our benefit. I mean, obviously not when we want to get countered. So
Anupama is asking, Nacho rumor, is it true or not? I came on here a couple weeks ago. I said we're not reporters here, we're fans, but I have heard from some people that do know some stuff, and there are two rumors that do have legs on them. The Di Maria rumor has legs, and the Nacho rumor has legit legs. So, do either one of those actually happen? I have no idea, but my understanding is that those two they actually have real legs. Like there's talks in the background, but who knows if they actually happen? Absolutely not. Never will we ever be reporters. Chris, now that they bring up Di Maria, though.
Oh, get out.
Okay, so I guess what's the point of even asking? Okay,
all right, go ahead. Ask it. You
already ruined it. You ruined it.
Oh, no, pose the question. Pose the question.
You already gave me the answer. All right. If they tell us that we can get Di Maria in the summer, but you have to get rid of Taylor, would you get Di Maria?
No, I'm not doing it. I know the whole chat. The whole chat is gonna just explode right now.
Not the whole chat. I don't think so. I think half the chat would agree with you. I agree with you. I wouldn't get Di Maria for Taylor. Di Maria is 36, 37 years old. Taylor's not even 30 yet. And Taylor is also getting paid like, I think I might get paid more money than like Taylor is getting paid nothing. It's wild. But
there's a lot of no's, a lot more no's than I anticipated.
I told you it'd probably be like 50%. I told you about half the people might say yes, half the people might say no. And I understand the people that say yes because Di Maria is a world-class athlete. Over the last decade, he's been one of the best in the world. So I get it. But at this present moment, I'd stick with Taylor.
I feel sorry for Robbie Robinson. The injury that he suffered, I don't even remember him suffering an injury. Like, I have to look back at the tape. Dennis Lopez is, I was just about to click that same one. We need a center 100%. Back, not Di Maria. Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I think of the two possibilities, the two rumors that I've heard that actually have some legs, I would go Nacho over Di Maria if I had to choose between the two, because I think definitely we would benefit from having a center, especially now that we lost Freire. I definitely think that we would benefit from that.
I want to mention something that I think Tata realizes. Mike V is bringing up Taylor gives up playing with his national team to play with Miami. Come on, who does that? Now, mind you,
hold on.
Yeah. Go ahead. That's a round of applause for you, Mike.
That man, when I saw that, I thought that was so awesome. Like, he's already endeared by the fans. How else to endear yourself? Say, you know what? I know Finland isn't going to win anything anyway, so I'll just stay here.
Mm-hmm.
That makes the decision a little easier. But still, everybody wants to play for their country, and he said, nah, I'm playing for this club. I love it.
This is where I think we might have some traction, though, because we have Vasquez saying, stick with Taylor. I'd be willing to let Campana go. I guarantee you that there will be a team that's willing to pay big bucks for Campana. Someone's lacking out there with a striker. And Zaberka, look, I'm not saying 100%. That Di Maria wouldn't be a great addition.
Just if we had to pick one over the other. And let me tell you something. If for those of you that aren't watching in the live chat, you're watching this later, because those are the people that like to kill me in the comments. It's okay. I understand And let me put it out in front of you. I'm gonna Eminem 8 Mile this thing. I know nothing about football. I understand. I know I'm an idiot. I know my takes are horrible, and I know you're never gonna watch this again, even though you still manage to comment on every video. I get all that. I'm just giving you my opinion. That's it. That's all.
Guys, get over it. How about that? How about that? I just say it you said it in a very nice way. You know what I say, Danny? Get over it.
So in that back and forth in the first half, Jordi Alba hit. Oh no, wait. Before we get into that, what did you think about the missed penalty call?
I don't know because
that was a penalty. I'm sorry. That ball bounced up and he guided it back in front of him, off of his hand. Whether it was on purpose or not, that guided the ball back in front of him because it was going to go past him. That to me was an obvious red. How it didn't even get reviewed, I think, is the real travesty.
Well, and there's tons of people that are agreeing with you. AZ Rebellion saying that was penalty.
100%.
Peaches pen all day. Dennis Lopez is saying that was a handball. Edson saying sus ref, right? 100%. Listen, I don't understand is, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say something. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just don't want to forget. We need to start clipping all of these missed calls against Inter Miami and make like a little short video. And then we're just going to put it on Twitter and everybody could just repost it. Whenever somebody says, oh, Inter Miami gets all the calls, placata. And then we just post that shit.
No,
just so
we'll do it.
Look, placata. So we got to go back and see what other calls were missed because this was a big one. Because that could have been game changing right there. If this game would have, if Vancouver was better at finishing, that could have been big time game changing.
And Gujoker saying that I'm gaining stuff in the background and you're losing stuff.
You noticed. Yeah, we got rid of all the bottles and everything. I'm gonna put something else in.
Nice. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you,
Joe is very observant.
Yes, I'll tell you. I think the call made on the field or failed to be made on the field is less worrisome than why didn't they go to VAR? Yeah, I think it was pretty clear that they should have gone to the VAR.
But you know what? That goes back to the whole, I think Messi, Messi wouldn't have been involved in that play probably at all. But I think Messi might get more calls than the other Inter Miami players. But Inter Miami overall, I don't think gets as many calls as people think. I think Messi, if people foul Messi, they're going to get that call like any superstar, right? That's just the superstar rule. In all sports, you get that call. But I don't think that that's going down to fucking Diego Gomez and fucking, I don't know, Chelo Wegan down the right. Like they're not getting those calls. They're not getting favorable calls. I think that we're being called pretty good. Pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that was on a VAR that should have been immediately observed and the call should have been made. That's Absolutely. Where I was like really, really kind of questionable. Like, why aren't they going to check the cameras? Why are they just allowing the play to keep going? And then later on, we have even more suspicious failed calls.
I wouldn't say suspicious. Look, this is my thing. I think refs always miss calls. I just get annoyed when teams lose and then the losing team points them out. Like, that was a missed penalty. Yeah, I get it. But, I mean, there's missed calls all the time. But the losing team, like, the fan base is like, blah, you paying everybody. So, yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you, I think it's very hard to support it when you can be able to go to VAR. Like, if you can go to VAR and now you have the refs chiming in, like the NFL, like the call being made and all that stuff. Like, dude,
I like that.
Go to the freaking camera. You know what I mean? Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Now, I don't know why.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I mean, maybe because they don't like the whole American football thing.
Especially in the stadium. That's great. A lot of times in the stadium, we're like, what happened? What happened? Get on Twitter. Check what happened.
Yeah. And look, there's a lot of people that are complaining about Fafa, that he was a crybaby, right? Jason was saying that he was on the floor all game. And this is where
tearing it up, though. He was tearing it up down that left side, though.
Florida man saying that the handball was right in front of the ref.
Yeah, I know. When they show the replay, you literally see the ref's back as you're looking at the replay. Like he was
staring.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? But again, they miss calls all the time. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, we got to check the referee's bank account, Sapo. And Yeah, look, I mean, the Fafa was super, super diving a lot of times. But for the most part, I thought that it was a handball. They should have called it, or they should have at least VAR'd it, and they didn't, which was ridiculous. And I mean, we just kept on sort of trading back and forth with Vancouver.
Again, it was a very entertaining game, I thought.
Yes, super entertaining game. Now, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to go into the goal. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, we get into the goal. That's exactly where I was going. You have Jordi Alba who sets up a beautiful pass to Taylor. Like we're talking about rolls right in front of him. Taylor says, I'm about to end this defender's whole career. First touch, bang, bangs it in, like bangs it in towards the box, right? And says, I'm about to end this goalie's career now. I just ended the defender, and then does his thing because he always bends it in and then bangs it. At that point, like it's like I tweeted earlier. The moment that he got that first touch, forget about it. He knew it was going into the back of the net.
Well, I think that's why he is such a good player. He's such a good finisher because the way he cut that back and completely got the defender out of position was beauty. But not only that, once he got that first touch and cut it back, he didn't give it an extra touch. He gives that thing an extra touch to get his body in better position, and a defender's on him. He cut that back and let it rip immediately, straight off of instinct. I need to look at the replay because I have a feeling he cut it back. I don't even think he looked up at the goal. Like
No way.
it was just straight instinct. And I mean, he's just Neymar light. Like we've been saying Neymar light. If you go back and watch episode 1 of the Battered Herons, I think it was Battered Soccer Fans back then. But the episode 1, we're literally coining him as Neymar light, episode 1, and he's just, man, it's just so fun to watch him play.
Well, I'm actually happy, Soccer Daddy, that Rojas is not a right winger, but played right winger because typically they throw Taylor on the right wing, and Taylor is not good on the right wing. I love him on the left wing.
I don't remember him ever playing on the right wing.
Yeah, he's played on the right wing before.
I thought Gressa was going to be up there.
I would have wanted him better than Rojas. I think Rojas would have been better as a midfielder.
I like Rojas creating in the midfield also. I think he plays much better there.
And look, the thing about Taylor, that move that he makes, he always loves to dribble it down into the box or towards the box. He doesn't like to hit the flank. So Yamila is asking. Yeah, go ahead.
No, she's asking if I knew Aston Villa's playing Champions League after 40 years thanks to Debu. I've heard. I've never said Debu was bad. I just told you I don't like the guy. Just like the same way, I'm sure that if you're a Barcelona fan, you probably hate Sergio Ramos. But you know he's not a bad player. You know, it's okay to dislike players and respect them. You know, I don't even respect him because he's such a douchebag. But I know he's not a bad player.
You're gonna catch strays for that for the rest of your life. You know that,
oh,
right?
100%. I know.
Like Debu haunts the memories.
Oh, but I'm 100% sure that if he would become the goalie for Inter Miami, I'd probably love him.
Oh yeah, because he's the kind of guy you'd love to have on your team and hate
100%.
to have as your opponent. Yeah,
100%. But
and
he's not.
Yeah, he's not. So fuck him. Kind of.
No, I didn't say all that.
Well, Dennis Lopez is saying Taylor's hezzy is awesome. Yeah, that's his deal. That's his move. He hezzies towards the box every time, and he wants that shot every single time. He's not one of these crossing guys. Get out of here.
Bangers all day for Robert Taylor.
Yeah, he's trying to score goals out here, bro.
All right. So that basically not too much after that. And yes, Rohan, obviously it's definitely a Colombian bias, but you know, it is what it is. The first half, we had 5 shots on goal. They had 0, and they were getting into the box. Like they were getting in there, but they just couldn't complete any of their low crosses because, again, our defenders were standing on business today. Bright, Aviles, like all of them, I felt like they were doing a great job of just intercepting balls, blocking shots. I thought that the first half is when our defense looked the crispest because, again, Vancouver kept getting in the box, but they wouldn't be able to find a shot on goal. They didn't test Drake at all in the first half. So 100%, I thought they did a good job. And Christoph, yes, Christoph.
He did well.
Yeah, Everybody. I thought everybody on the defensive back line did well up until the point where Avila started getting a little overly zealous with his defending. But again, bend but don't break. They got inside the box, but they couldn't get a shot off in that first half. So shout out to that defense in the first half because it was solid, and I'm really proud of those guys because definitely the weakest part of our team, and I think they did a great job today.
Well, and the best part is that you had Bright that was willing to say, I'm going to stick to my CDM role strictly and assist on the defensive end.
I don't think he says that, though. I think that's Tata.
I mean, it could be.
People don't want to give Tata credit, though.
I mean, look, Tata can get the credit. I mean, look, he played Bright over Redondo. So I imagine that he saw that Redondo is either A, not in the greatest form because of his injury, or B, probably not ready to start the game because he's, just recovering from an injury. And Bright is not a bad defender. He's not a bad player. Yeah. Out of all of the young guns, he is one of my favorite players that I think has really, really good upside. I think that he's going to be a catch for another team for sure.
For another team?
Yeah, I think that at some point he's going to get snatched up. I mean, I don't know how long his contract is. I have to look at that later. That'll be a good episode to have at some point soon. I think he's going to get snatched up for sure.
All right. Well, go ahead. So at halftime, how were you feeling at halftime? Up 1-0. Felt like it was a track meet back and forth. And the chat, if you guys could jump in also, let us know. At halftime, what were you thinking? Were you thinking win? Were you thinking this might be a draw? Like, what was your head at halftime?
I thought by halftime, I loved the pace, but the pace is dangerous. And I thought that the pace itself, the way that the game was going in the first half, it would lead us to tying or to having a goal scored on, not being able to maintain some consistency, right?
Some people are saying they felt confident. Mr. Krabs said 1-0 was going to stick. He thought.
No, I didn't think it was going to be 1-0. I didn't think it was going to finish 1-0. No way.
No, a lot of people saying that they felt confident. You know what? When we got to halftime, my mind was we're going to leave this game with at least a point. That's what I was thinking. I was like, they're getting into the box. Eventually, they have to get a shot off. Like, they're a good transition team. They haven't scored an open play in like 4 or 5 games, so they're probably due. So a part of me did think like, oh, this is like murky waters. Like we might draw, but I didn't think we would lose. But I did think that we were going to get out of there with at least a point. And but I wasn't sure if it was going to be a win. That's what I was thinking at halftime.
Well, I mean, and again, like I said, the biggest thing about it is that you have the fact that we ended up, with the pace. Like I said, that's a dangerous game to play, especially against a team that's like willing to just counter on you and try to counter. And then you got Fafa that is on like his 3rd lung of the day. That's a dangerous game to play against a team that's willing to go ahead and be strong on their counterattack. But, we start off the second half. I think at that point, what ended up happening? Did anybody come in the beginning of the second half? I don't think anybody did. I think our first substitution was later on. I believe it was later on around like the 60th minute or something, 60-something minute. Okay, that was when Redondo came in. That's when I think that the yellow cards started coming out, because I looked at the game. Only 2 yellow cards were handed out before the half. One to Jordi Alba, one to Ali Ahmed. After that, Yannick Bright got one on the 48th minute, Campana on the 51st minute. We have a couple other yellow cards after that. I mean, we get to the goal, right? We have Campana scores on the 54th minute, 55th minute. Now, this is where you have to give Taylor a ton of credit, Danny, because he knows that he beat the defender going right inside the box. So he does the step over and then brings it to the baseline. And I'm saying baseline because I play basketball, so I don't know what that line is called. The touch line, yes. And so the moment that he does that, he sauces him, and Campana, patient as hell, waits for the little cross, and it was a beauty. That was 1,000% created by Robert Taylor.
Was Gressel the one that got that ball to Taylor?
You know what? That's a good question. I thought it was Aviles. I think you might be right. I think it might have been Gressel.
I think it might have been.
I'm
Gressel.
not sure. If any of you guys remember in the chat, who got that ball over to Taylor? That's a good question. Byline.
And
thank you, Mamopo.
that play right there, I thought that, well, like you said, Robert Taylor created that, and
it was a give and go.
Oh, it was Campana. Okay, that's cool. I didn't realize it was Campana, but yeah. I thought that Campana put himself in the right position, because as a striker, that's what you do. It's everybody's like, oh, like Haaland. As much as I'm not a big fan of Haaland, but everybody's like, oh, he just touches the ball in. He puts himself in that position.
Yeah.
As a striker, that's your job. It's not just to finish, but put yourself in a position to receive the ball where you can finish easily. And Campana put himself in position with that run he made up the middle of the box, and he finished. So Campana deserves credit. But that play, it's all Robert Taylor. Like Robert Taylor was Robert Taylor, Neymar light-esque.
Well, and to talk about a little bit more about Robert Taylor, not only do you love him as a player because he's willing to play some club games versus playing for his, for his country, but I know that Tata loves the fact that he plays free and he plays like fun. You know what I mean? He's not like a robot player. He's very creative. He's willing to go against other teams, aggressively. And I think that to have that kind of player that's not named Messi or Suarez, I think it's pretty comforting for him.
Inter Miami on defense had 38 clearances. And Vancouver only had 10. Like they were on it. They were on it, man. Our defense had to step up big time because they were getting their chances. They were getting their chances, and Inter Miami's defense stood up. And they were solid. Inside their own box, Inter Miami at the end of the game had 14 touches inside of the opposing box. Vancouver had 38. That's why we had 38 clearances. Yeah, man, it was a great performance by our defense.
Rohan brought up a great comment here: the free food and the shady penalty. Vancouver fans ate today. Which I want to mention something before we keep talking about the game. Did you hear how strong the boos were in the beginning of the game?
No, I didn't notice.
Like in the beginning of the game, these fans were so butthurt. And whenever Jordi Alba got the ball, they like tripled down on the booing. Like, guys, you're seeing Jordi Alba. You got 2 goals in the game. You got free fucking food. Okay,
yeah, but come on, you can't compare that. No, you can't. It's not just get over it, dude. Like I get it. As Inter Miami fans, we say get over it, but come on, you paid. Sam literally told us that they sold the Messi package.
They sold a 4-pack.
A 4-pack, but you knew what it was.
Yes, I know what it is.
You know what it was.
Of course.
If they throw any other game in that 4-game package and they don't promote it as the Messi package, that thing doesn't sell. Like, that was a Messi game. So I get it. Like, I don't blame them. Boo your heart out.
Well, they finished the 4-pack with the Messi game.
No, they have an LAFC game I think it was in August or September. This is the 3rd game out of the package.
Oh, okay. I thought that this was okay. All right. I thought it was the last game of the Vancouver 4-pack.
No, they still have the LAFC one, I believe. And Edson Garcia is letting us know there's 51,035 attended that match. I'm sorry, they're not selling 51,000 tickets if Messi isn't attached to that. Look, I get it. Everybody's like, oh, but it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's not Inter Miami's fault. But like, can you really blame the people for being frustrated? Like, I don't know.
No, and Soccer Daddy's frustrated as well.
And Soccer Daddy was there also. Like, yes. I don't blame them. I don't blame them for being frustrated. Let them boo.
I think, but it's a weird place to be in because every team is gonna gouge for these games against Inter Miami.
But you know what? To their benefit, from what Sam told us, they didn't price gouge for this game.
Well, because they
But-
packaged it together.
Right. But you still got 3 other games at a good price, where in other places they're literally price gouging. So I don't blame them.
Well, and we'll keep talking about the game. I guess we'll bring it back to this at the end.
Yeah.
But Jason O is saying, check the pick in the Discord. Guy spent $4,900. Oof. I mean, for that, you should have just flown to Miami.
I don't know what is it. This one that Jason's talking about. I have to do the math in my head, I guess. But like this guy said, flight $1,000, hotel $1,700, dinner $800, 2 tickets $1,400, but no Messi. Look, that has to suck. That sucks, man. That sucks.
I think Peaches rounds it up, saying 800 at a diner, at a dinner. Poor financial decisions.
Well, yes, but who knows how long he stayed out there? He probably made it a trip out of it. Yeah, he's like, you know what? And look, and if he's traveling with, it's 2 tickets, so $400. I could spend $400 in 2 days on food. You can. I mean, if I'm trying to be on a budget, I can, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I mean, well, it's Vancouver, so it's probably harder to get food out there. Like, you know how
it's not Hawaii.
I mean, but you know, like Seattle's food is a little expensive.
No,
I don't know,
man.
Yeah,
they're not off on an island.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, fish over here is cheaper than it is in like Kentucky, right?
I guess.
Well, anybody know what the fish price in Kentucky is right now, guys? I'm not far fetched by saying allegedly. Okay, I'll finish it with that. Well, I mean, Peaches, Hawaii does have a KFC. The KFC sandwiches there are double the price for sure. Peaches.
No, Hawaii's food is extra expensive because there it actually costs a lot to get shit out there. But I don't think they have that issue in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then everybody is saying $800 diner. I think that might have been a misspell on his behalf. He might have meant dinner. If he spent $800 on a diner, then yes, 100%. Those are some bad. He probably bought the franchise.
Imagine he's like at a Denny's spending $800. That's a diner, right?
I guess you could consider it kind of like a diner, but I don't even know if that's considered a diner.
What's a diner? Like these
diners are cheaper than Denny's.
I know we live pretty close to a diner. There's a diner in Kendall's.
Yeah,
in Kendall.
It's funny we bring this up because my son was craving pancakes, so we took him to Denny's yesterday, and it was 4 of us, and I only spent like $60. Like to spend $800 on a diner is almost impossible. Like you have to be treating the whole squad.
Phil Lab says Denny's is definitely a diner. Is Waffle House a diner?
Waffle House is the worst piece of crap.
It's not.
It is the worst piece of crap ever. You should
have Waffle House tomorrow. Absolutely in honor of me.
Absolutely not. All right, let's get back on track.
So back on track, we get the goal. Campana gets a goal again. 2 goals in a row now, Danny, which is great for Campana and his confidence. Mm-hmm. This is kind of what we wanted. And Mike V, I don't understand why Mike V is not going crazy in the chat right now. I don't know where you are right now, Mike V.
It's Campapi's #1 supporter. He might have gone to bed. Look, shout out to 244 people right now that are up. I mean, some of you guys are in different parts of the world, so maybe it's like daytime for you. But for those of you that live here on the East Coast of the United States, shout out to you for staying up until 1:30 so far in the morning with us. We really appreciate you guys. You guys are the absolute best. So thank you guys.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. And Freddie, I don't appreciate that slander. Waffle House is not a redneck place. And
you know what? We're gonna have this Waffle House because this is actually, for those of you, Chris and I have an ongoing war about the Waffle House because I hate that place, and Chris will die on the hill that it's the best breakfast place in the world. And we're not going to do it today because we're going to stick to the show, especially this late at night. But we have to get into this at some point.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
And then Peaches, I believe she's in the United Kingdom, 6:30 a.m. So shout out to Peaches. I saw this, let's see, Sarah Jane. It's 5:26 p.m. over here. 5:26 p.m. Where could you be? Are you?
That's
She has to be in Asia.
yeah, probably somewhere in Asia. Mr. Krabs is saying that he thought I would eat at Pollo Tropical. Fun fact, I hate Pollo Tropical. They have dry ass chicken.
Well, the fact that you say tropical really makes me sick.
I don't like to give them that respect.
It's tropical.
They're
And
gonna
Jack
give me
Cart is
dry
11
chicken.
a.m. Where you at, Jack Cart? 11 a.m. Okay.
11 a.m.
Twelve-
That's
Shout out to Lamar in
okay.
Texas. It's
12:27
just past
Texas, yeah.
midnight. They're also okay. So see some people at different time zones. All right.
I'll say tropical. And Jason, I don't appreciate this either. Waffle House is not the Robert Taylor of breakfast. It's not bad.
I thought that was a compliment at first.
But if I have a better option, I'm going with that. Listen, you got to put some respect on Waffle House's name. You know what? We can't do this discussion.
No, we'll get lost in this.
We'll be here for another hour.
Yeah, we argue about this for like hours at a time. We can. And then Jack Cart is in India. So shout out to Jack Cart in India and Alex in Germany. Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. We love all you guys. That's awesome.
That's in Color Bay, like 3 miles away from me.
And for those of you in different parts of the country, just so you know, right now it is 1:30 in the morning for us.
Yes.
So,
Now, as far as the red card, I mean, not the red card, but the foul, the penalty with Aviles, right? Now, they did that because they're not going to give him the yellow card, right? That's why they did that.
I thought he was going to get a yellow card and
then get sent off.
Well, when they said penalty, I was like, oh, this motherfucker's going to get the yellow also. He's going to miss the Atlanta game. And Yaki Gaki is going to go ham on us. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
But no, he didn't get the yellow, but we got the pen. And did you start to worry once they scored that pen?
This hurts Danny's heart to the fullest, Mike V.
We were having this conversation the other day also. I've never been to a Cracker Barrel. But again, we're going to get sidetracked again. So let's just keep going. But yeah, we'll have this conversation eventually.
It was a dumbass foul. AZ Rebellion is saying dumb foul. Why did it need to occur? He just wanted to show his masculinity, his presence. This is my house, and you're not allowed in my house.
It's silly. It's silly the fouls that he makes sometimes. I don't know. It just whatever. I thought that it was a silly foul. I thought he should have been sent off because if you're going to give him a penalty because he fouled somebody in the box, usually that's a yellow. But you know, how did you feel when they scored that goal though?
I was really disappointed because Calendar was playing a pretty solid game.
But at that point, there's still 20 minutes left in the game. Were you thinking like, oh, I started thinking that they might score again because I predicted a 2-2 draw last episode.
Yeah.
And when I saw this, I was like, ah, crap, I might end up being right because I felt like the momentum all changed, right? And then they just went ham. Like, I don't know if Inter Miami kind of just like dropped back, but it felt like Vancouver was going to eventually score. And they had that header from Fafa that hit the post. Like, I thought that like for sure they're going to score.
Well, I think that they eventually would have been able to put a lot more pressure, especially since we were more tired. I think by the time that they scored on us, we had a couple substitutions. We had Redondo. He came on for Ben Krem, right? And I guess we'll talk a little bit about Ben Krem. And then that's when they scored the penalty. So by then, we only had one substitution come in. We still had somewhat tired legs on the field. So, yeah, at that point, before the penalty, I thought that, yeah, they'd have a lot more attacking presence and quite possibly a goal.
Did you see when Redondo started touching Fafa's chin?
Yeah, I think it was because I think from my perspective, he gave a tackle to Fafa, and then Fafa laughed at him. He said something, and he probably was like, oh, you look like a model, whatever, you little boy, bah, boom, and then grabbed him on the freaking chin or something. I don't know. He was like talking crap to Redondo, and Redondo was like, I don't appreciate that shit, and he freaking grabbed him. I don't know why he did that. Super dumb, too.
Well, I thought he was getting a little feisty. I kind of liked it.
I don't know, man. I feel like these dumb fouls, man, they can bite us in the ass at some point. Yeah. You know, we're going.
He got a yellow for it.
Yeah, we're growing a reputation for dumb fouls. We're growing a reputation where like you have the big four always complaining about calls, right? Like that's not the kind of stuff that you want people to think of or the refs or whatever.
All the big time players for all the big time teams always do that. It's
Yeah.
just what you do because you know that you have some influence on the referee.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Danny.
I was gonna say that the last 20 minutes were an ass clincher because it felt like they had so many opportunities.
Now, before we move on, because this is probably the last time we're going to talk a little bit about Campana, Mike V says, I don't talk up Campana anymore because there's nothing he can do to stop getting hate by a lot of the fan base, so I gave up. I hope he leaves in the summer and kills it elsewhere. I think that he will, just depending on where he falls. But again, I think that at the end, it was wild. A wild 15, 20 minutes. Fafa decided to finally get in his bag and really, really put the pressure on us. And I really got to give credit to Fafa in terms of he was playing on both sides of the field. I think they had him slotted on the left side, but then he moved over to the right. Then he went back to the left. He was a very, very active for Vancouver today. Very active.
He was the offense for them. I felt like he was the Robert Taylor, I guess you could say, for them. I thought he was creating for them. And in the last 20 minutes, like I don't have a way to check how many shots were taken after a certain minute in the game. But I can tell you that in the first half, Vancouver had 4 shots. In the second half, they had 12. Like they picked it up quite a bit in that second half. Mm-hmm. Drake had to be on his shit because there were a couple shots. There was one from distance. I forgot whoever it was. I don't know what the guy's name was, but he had huge bags under his eyes. But I think he was tired. But he had a pretty good shot that kind of went through the middle of everybody. So I thought Drake might have a hard time seeing it before it got to him. That one that hit off the post. There was just and we were turning the ball over in our own box. Yes. It felt like we did that 2 or 3 times where we were just reckless with our passes, and we were instead of clearing it, we kind of just gave them another possession inside the box. Look, the last 20 minutes, I was like, oh crap! And I had already made the graphic for YouTube. I thought, oh man, I'm gonna have to make this shit over again. I'm gonna have to put a 2-2 draw. Like I really thought that there was a chance that we're gonna end up getting a draw because they were on it.
Well, and if you remember when we had our guest on, Sam, this week, he was talking a little bit about Fafa, how he's like, look, we have this expectation for him, and we've been waiting for him to sort of shine a little bit. Even in a loss today, if I was a Vancouver fan, I'd be super stoked about his performance today.
Well, he said that he started off pretty well the first 2 or 3 games, and then kind of fell off. I don't know if he got injured and then came back, but he said that he fell off. But yeah, I agree. Today, I think he played very well for them.
And I don't know if this is accurate. Rohan is here putting in the chat 61% possession for them in the second half is crazy.
And in the first half, they only had 44. But I think those numbers might have been slighted the last 20 minutes because the last 20 minutes, they were just on our ass.
Yeah, I mean, the last 20 minutes was wild.
Oh, Venice Beach. That's where Muscle Beach is, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a basketball court there, too. I would love to play basketball there.
Oh, I was supposed to go, and I had a hotel booked to stay in Venice Beach by Muscle Beach. I don't know if it's one and the same. I think it might be. And I went to Vegas first, and I was supposed to drive from Vegas to Venice Beach. Oh, Venice, Italy. Oh, okay. My fault. No, I wasn't driving to Venice, Italy.
About California, bro. I'm out here in real Venice, bro.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah. Respect. Okay. Real Venice. All right. So shout out to you. My cousin's actually in Florence right now. He's been sending me pictures. So, and he's traveling. My cousin's traveling out there. He's in Florence right now. Nice. So shout out to my cousin Manny also. And then Sean said Venice, Italy is adult Disney. Never been. I've never been to Europe. Never been to Europe because I'm poor.
Well, and Roshan says, new sub here. Welcome. We have someone named Rohan and Roshan.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Roshan. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed like Roshan did. If Roshan, I don't know. I think we're like 2 or 3 away from 3,000. Oh,
wow. We might be able to get to that. So
I thought that the adult Disney was the red light district. No, isn't that? No? Okay.
I mean,
I thought that's what. I don't know. All right, so we didn't give up that late goal. We kept the win. We got 10 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses. We're still top of the table, but Cincinnati refuses to lose. And we're still on top, but Cincinnati is probably going to come in once we have that week off on June 8th. If Cincinnati wins, they're going to take over as top of the table, and we'll see. But yeah, Cincinnati keeps winning, and we're gonna can't keep hating on Tata though, because we're winning also.
And I watched that game against Toronto. Like, I mean, Toronto wasn't playing games. Like, they're on the uptick right now. Mike V chiming in saying Tootsie's equals adult Disney. And Sean Callahan saying adult Disney could be Amsterdam, but Venice is for adult Disney for anything fancy. I see. Toronto's on the uptick right now. They're doing very well. They scored freaking 2 goals, almost a third. No, they scored 3 goals, almost a fourth. So Rohan says we're not losing.
Well, it's not that we're gonna lose, but we've played one more game than Cincinnati, and they're only behind us by like a point or 2.
Yeah.
So on June 8th, that's our bye. We don't have a game on June 8th. They do. Well, at that point, after June 8th, we'll have played the same amount of games. So if they don't lose anymore, then they will pass us in the standings, just because of that extra game that we have over them at the moment. But we do play them at the end of June or early July, but that game will probably be without Messi. So that sucks. And we'll probably have Justin Blair on here to talk about that. And on Monday, we're going to have our boy Tommy One Time from Scarves and Stripes to preview Atlanta on Wednesday. So join us on Monday at 9:00 for that. That should be fun. But I think we've covered about everything. We're about to hit the hour mark. I have to wake up in 3 hours.
Nice.
So 3.5 hours. So I got to, get some sleep so I can wake up in about 3.5 hours. So anything else that you want to touch on in this game before we head out of here, Chris?
No, man, that's it. I mean, Vancouver, like I talked about in the preview and like we discussed, they're a good team in the West Coast. It's good to get a W against them so far away from home without Messi. That is the most important part. So I'm totally cool with that.
The Cody Crybaby, yes, that is. He is the Cody Crybaby. And Mike V, 145 time, 100%. You are 100% allowed to 145, wow. Tommy. So feel free. It should be a fun episode. We always have a fun episode when Tommy comes around. Although he was part of episode 98, which was the worst episode in our show's history. Ever. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't duplicate an episode 98. But yeah.
Hopefully we talk about Waffle House.
we might. And yes, that is brutal. It is. My wife's like, why the heck are you doing a post game? I was like, well, because I want to. I enjoy it. Well, and you guys can always count on us for the most part. Usually, I don't want to say always. Maybe something will happen where we can't. But for the most part, you guys can always count on us. Where we try to be as consistent as possible, even when it jeopardizes our sleep. So we're still here.
Thanks for staying up with us, guys. It really is much appreciated, man. We love doing this with you guys and love taking the time to hang out with you guys for sure.
All right. So before we head out of here real quick, if you had to guess, who is the lowest graded player in the starting 11 for Inter Miami?
Ben Krem.
No.
Don't tell me they're going to give it to Aviles.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's because of the penalty, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And after him, it was Chelo and then Ben Krem. So there you go. Oh, Matias Rojas also was with Ben Krem at a 7.0. Matias Rojas, I think, was non-existent today. He was non-existent today. I think he's better off in the midfield, in my opinion. But all right. Well, let me head out of here so I can try to capitalize on those 3.5 hours I got. Gonna take the kiddos somewhere special because it's my son's birthday weekend. So we're gonna have some fun with him. So that's what we're doing. Oh, by the way, I took him to see Garfield today. What a disappointment, man.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I like Garfield, and my son was pretty. He actually liked it, but he's going to turn 5 now.
Yeah.
But he finds the comedic value in just about anything. But I was really disappointed. I think they could have done so much more with Garfield. So I was disappointed. So if anybody's thinking of going to watch it, go for it. If you really like Garfield, I used to like Garfield as a kid, but I thought it was kind of disappointing. And thank you guys for wishing him a happy birthday. It's actually not until later on in the week, Thursday, I think it is. But we celebrated the weekend before because it's a weekday. All right. Well, with that said, if you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, and all that other good stuff. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you in the chat, we appreciate you guys joining us, hanging out with us for over an hour. This late into the night, it is 1:43 in the morning. So as always, we appreciate you guys. You guys make this fun. That's why I do it even when I'm not going to get any sleep. And we'll be back on Monday with Mr. Tommy One Time to talk some Atlanta football. So until the next one, have a good one.